Bevins. Let me introduce myself. I'm a homeschooling mum of 6, and we live in a small town in New Zealand, and this is my journey and just sharing that with you. So today we're going to talk about mum care, and for me this is actually pretty huge. This is something I think that slips under the radar, and there's not a lot of things that are talked about when you talk about a homeschooling journey or a stay-at-home mum or motherhood or those sort of things that talk about mum care. And I think it's critical, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of those around you. So what is mum care? Mum care is this. It is taking time for you to do the things you like to do. It is having space to be able to think and breathe. It's being alone, if that's what you enjoy, or it's going out with friends. It's about having you time. It's about not losing yourself in your family life. It's great to be a mum. It really is. It's great for all you mums out there who are involved with your kids, who put them first all the time. But actually, you also need to put you first, because you are important and you are valuable. And if you don't put yourself first, then you'll burn out and you won't be able to put your children first or the other things you want to do first. So my first thing I would say is, remember your hobbies, the things you used to love before you had children, because I presume that you still love them, or if they've changed and morphed, find what you love now. There are so many different things you can do now. I'm sure there's a whole lot of different interests you could find to cover. So maybe some of that downtime is spent browsing the internet, or researching for school, or finding other things for your kids. But also there should be other times where you are just spending time in a place that brings you peace and serenity, a time that calms you, just a place for you. So I thought I'd share a little bit about what I do for me and how that works. Why we've changed rooms is because one of the things that helps me is going to a place that I really like. So later in the video I'll show you, this is actually my bedroom, but I'm going to go show you my room and why that makes me feel calm. And I'm then also going to show you my garden as well, which is another place for me where I really enjoy. The kids often come out and help, but I really love doing it. So if I'm gardening for me and not for my children. They've all learned how to plant seeds, and they all have a little bit of their own garden, and they all do their own thing. But if I'm out in the garden, even if they're right there next to me, it's because I'm doing what I love to do. So even if your children are with you, you can still do those things that recharge your battery. Some of those times do need to be just with you, or with your friends, or with your husband. But sometimes including children in those things that make you feel happy is also really wonderful, because you get to share that passion and joy with them. So for me, some of the things I do is I will come into my room and I will spend a little bit of time. I might read some books. You probably can't see them right now, but I'll show them later. I have a bookshelf right next to me, and I might read. I love to read, and it's just a nice, I could pick up a book, read it for half an hour, have a bit of quiet time. It's great. I might come into my room and read the Bible. I might come into my room and watch a little bit of telly. Not very often, because we don't generally have screens while the kids are around, just because that's not how we work. We always like to make sure that children don't necessarily watch what adults watch. So we don't tend to watch a lot of TV during the day. So some of the other things I like to do to recharge my battery, I love going out with my friends. Obviously, in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I haven't been able to drive for 18 months, so often my friends will come to my house and we will chat over coffee, or they'll come pick me up. Or, my husband, if it's the weekend or evenings, might drop me off somewhere. And so I will hang out with my friends, or we'll chat, or I'll call, and it's really important to me. I like to read, as I said. I also like doing puzzles. So my favourite ones at the moment are Wills jigs, just because there's a little bit of a challenge. This is also something that my children enjoy doing. I don't have to always allow them to, so it's okay to also say, no, this is mum time, mum's doing this. So I might have a puzzle out and be doing it, and they'll all be like, can we do it? And sometimes I'll say, yes, let's do that together. And sometimes I say, no, mum's doing this. This is mum's time and she wants to do her puzzle. So it's okay not to include your children. It's fine for them to go off and play for 15, 20 minutes while you have some time to recharge. It's vital that you take that time however you need it. So for me, there's puzzles. Also, this is another one of my hobbies. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a cookbook and a baking book. So I really enjoy baking and cooking sometimes, but really enjoy baking. And so, like, again, it's another thing I do with my children, but it's also another thing I will tell them, or I'll do in the evenings when they're asleep, but I will tell them, I'm just making this today, but I can't wait for us to eat it together. So we include them in some part, but it's okay for me to say this is something I want to do. Or I might say, I'm just going to bake this thing, but how about you come back in 20 minutes when I've finished and we'll do something together. So that's how I do baking. Obviously, other people love baking with the children and that brings them a lot of joy, but this is about how we recharge ourselves without our children. One of the other things I do is I scrapbook. And I, in all honesty, have very little time to do this because once I've got my stuff out, I have kids wanting to help, and but I do enjoy doing that sort of thing as well. So for me, it's about finding those things that I have hobbies in and really enjoy doing, and spending time and making time to do them. Not just spending time, but actually setting aside time in the weekend when my husband's home or during the day when the kids are busy to do those things. I also really love to go for bike rides and walks. So like you saw before, I walk with my electric scooter, but I have an electric bike that I'm very desperate to be able to ride again. So hopefully once my leg is better and I'm out of my moon boot, I will be able to pick that up again. I like being able to just go off for half an hour, go for a bike in the fresh air, something recharging about it. So I do make sure I'm spending time during the day doing things that recharge me. Communication with my husband is really important for me to, in the evenings, kind of download what's gone in the day and how it's gone is really helpful. I'm not super productive in the evenings. I'm not the super mum who works all day and then by the evening time I'm making 1,000 cupcakes and ironing and doing all that sort of thing. I tend to do all my work in the day and I tend to relax in the evening just because it's a long day and it's busy, and so sometimes I'll do different things, but often for me evenings are just hanging out with my husband, watching some TV, maybe reading a book, just downtime stuff, obviously dishes after dinner and sweeping the floors and that sort of thing. So for me, evening I don't consider as my time. Yeah, they're just evenings. But so the other thing I like to do is going outside for me is really nice, and it's just about finding space to refocus and recenter, and even having somewhere to think if it's been a long week or you've got a challenging child or school hasn't gone to you've planned or whatever the case is. Sometimes you need a place that's quiet that you can think about that and process and come up with plan B or C or Z for how to deal with that particular child or that issue or that event. And you can't do that when you're rushing around, otherwise things just become more and more overwhelming. So I guess for me that's why I would really encourage mum time. The other thing I would encourage is a support network. If you're home all the time with your children, it can feel incredibly lonely sometimes. There's no other adults around in a work environment where you're constantly chatting with other adults, and you can feel very alone. And so finding a support network, whether that's a stay-at-home mums group, a homeschooling group, a local Christian group, a charity organisation, a sports club, music, whatever it is, to find some way to connect and have support, I think is very important. Now, I've done lots of different things over my time to just have time for me and recharge. I've taken French lessons at night, which was really fun, but we ended up quitting those because they clashed with one of our children going to cares, and it became quite hard to organise it at the same time. I used to swim when we were close to a local pool, so I'd get up early. I am an early bird, and so for me, I can get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock and spend some time with God or reading something, watching maybe a series or a documentary that I was working on. Sometimes it might be researching a new homeschooling topic, sometimes it might be Christmas shopping for the kids. But it's my time where I might do something just quietly by myself. Before my leg injury, I would go for a walk. For me, walking in the morning is just beautiful. I love being out and getting the fresh air. I feel like it just gives me a chance to refocus. I pray when I walk, but you could just think about life, I guess, or nothing, and it's just a time where it's kind of peaceful and it's quiet, and I like finding those times. And I think it's important as mums, especially busy mums, even if you only have one child or whether you have 10, children become noisy and busy, and that's great because that's who they should be. But it can be draining. So finding that time where you can find peace. My husband is the opposite from me. He's a night owl, and so he gets his recharge time at night, and he will stay up rather late, often past midnight, and that's when he recharges his battery and he gets his own time. So we're all different in where we find that. Other things I do is after dinner, I might let my husband know that I need a bit of time, and so he might take the children for a walk, or I might go for a walk, or I might just come to my bedroom and just chill out for a little bit. It's all about realising mums need to take care of yourself. I know there's this whole thing of, I'm so busy I didn't even wash my hair, but actually taking 10 minutes to have a nice shower in the morning is really important. It's important because you feel fresh and ready to start the day, and you feel like this was my time and I've done this and we're ready to go. And so I would encourage that you really think about how you can take care of you. Not to say that that should be at the expense of taking care of your children, obviously, but children will survive, different when they're very young and need a lot of supervision, but even when they're having a nap when they're that age, it's time for you to recharge in some way, listen to some music, read a book, have a sleep. But taking care of you is important. Your worth is not found in your children. You have worth because you are you, and that's valuable, and so you need to take care of that. And if that's going out or joining a club or staying home or hiding out in your room for half an hour, then that's good. And don't attach that to guilt. You don't need to feel guilty for taking time out to be with yourself and spend time with you and enjoy your time and your things. It's great you love your family, want to be with them, but you aren't beholden to them, and your time is great, and it's fine to say I need an hour. And I know there are also families who perhaps don't have the opportunity where the mother can't just take some time. So if there's a place where you can't have there's no support person in your house, or everyone's very busy and you don't get those times, then to figure out how to make them work when you're driving kids to an event or something. Put on a podcast you like to listen to, or music that you like to listen to. Children will either listen as well, or they will read a book themselves, or whatever. So try and incorporate those things you like, even into a busy schedule. It could be as simple as spending 10 minutes doing your hair, or putting on your makeup before you go out, if that's what recharges you. I will do more videos later down about mum care, because I think it's really important, and I think it's something that's often missed. So please like and subscribe, and you'll hear more. Now for my room tour, and I'll show you why this is my peaceful place, the place where I come to, and then I'll show you the garden as well. So I thought I'd show you my quiet space, the place I come to recharge. So this is my bedroom. It's quiet, it's calm, and kids aren't allowed in it generally. I love flowers, so I always have fresh flowers in the house because they bring me joy, and I think we should have things in our lives and in our homes that bring us joy. So flowers for me are my joy. This is my place where my books are and my chair is, and I sit, and sometimes I doze, but I can read and just be calm. Currently we've also got chocolate, because no place of retreat is quite there without chocolate. So that's one of my places, and I'll go show you the garden now too, please. My happy place is my garden. I enjoy gardening, and I enjoy the peace it brings, so this is currently our garden. So that's how I recharge, and I do encourage you to really take time to figure out how to look after you.